All right, we got a big pile of wood here. Welcome back, DOT Bear Woodworking. What are we going to make this big pile of wood today? Well, we got us some 1x12s. We got us some 4x4s. We got the industry standard 2x4. And we got saws, sanders, Clivey dog on the hunt. We're going to make a custom farm table, so stick with me. Okay, so the first thing we did was I took my 6-foot 1x12s. I worked a deal with the lumber place. They sold me a 12-footer. We cut down into 6 and got a 6 from another one, and saved a little bit of money on that. But took these 6-footers, cut them down to a 5-foot, and then we'll continue the process. Stick around. All right, so the next part, what we're going to do is I'm going to build basically the top section that's going to be on the bottom of the tabletop. So I know my table is going to be roughly 3 foot by 5 foot. I'd like an indent of 6 inches, 6 inches, so I figure, roughly 4 foot by 4 foot. I want the inside to be outside of these legs be 28 inches apart. So basically I need 2 at 31 and 2 at 45 because I want these end pieces to overlap the outside pieces. Just kind of make it stronger. You can do it however. So, all right, we're going to cut them and see how it works out. All right, I just want to share a little tip with people. I found this out the hard way. On these miter saws, one side is always going to cut true to your measurement or your mark. So what I figured out is the left side of the blade is going to be my 32. So I measured 32 out. I know from that, the laser line and the blade, it's going to be 32 there. I made too many errors. I thought 32, and then I cut it on this side, and it's about a blade width too short. So just if you get a miter saw, play around with a little bit with some scrap wood, figure out which way is your good side. Looks like I did all right. Looks like I did all right. So, all right, we got our legs cut. Let's keep going. Right, so the next part, what we're going to do is I'm going to build basically the top section that's going to be on the bottom of the tabletop. So I know my table is going to be roughly 3 foot by 5 foot. I'd like an indent of 6 inches, 6 inches, so I figure, roughly 4 foot by 4 foot. I want the inside to be outside of these legs be 28 inches apart. So basically I need 2 at 31 and 2 at 45 because I want these end pieces to overlap the outside pieces. Just kind of make it stronger. You can do it however. So, all right, we're going to cut them and see how it works out. Alrighty, folks, we got our base all worked out, so let's throw in some legs, see what we get. Alrighty, folks, she's come together. I added a little bit of extra strength there. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to put any like cross pieces in, but once I do decide that, I'm going to definitely put a little more screws. But see, I came in with these 45 pieces anchored in, and these pretty solid. He's pretty solid. So, but that's the cool thing about it. You can just kind of ebb and flow. So, all right, on to the tabletop next. All right, I saved you guys all the cussing, but what we're doing is we're pre-sinking, drilling angles, screws in, so hopefully nothing shows on top. So, got 2 of them together, getting ready to start on the 3rd. So, slowly making progress. All right, we got it all together. Got my 2x4 banding around there. I tell you what, I have yet to master getting these 100% together. I just wrestled with screws underneath and everything else. So, but what I'll do is when I go to pour my epoxy, I'll make sure and put a strip of tape or something to catch it, let that epoxy build up, fill it up, and then go over it. But, yep, just start sanding. So lots of sanding to go. All right, most tabletop sanding is done. Had a little bit of trouble with the router, but overall gave it a nice decorative edge. Got it all sanded down. Had to make some spare bed rails. Had a little bit longer mattress, but no big deal. A couple 2x4s, 2x6s. But yeah, overall, said I got that big crack I got to deal with, because when I go to fill that epoxy, it'll just drip all the way through. So I got to find a way to stop that up from the other side, just so it'll fill up, seal up. So, but anyway, not too bad. Should make a nice dining table. So we'll share. Alrighty, folks, we're back into work on the project here. We got the top all sanded down. Pretty well got it to where I want it for sanding. So just putting a couple cross braces in. Well, when you're trying to do this by yourself, it's a big pain in the butt. So measured out a 2x4 the distance I want. Just coming in here, gonna screw it in. Bring my 2x4 over here, screw it in, and hopefully get that pretty level. And then we'll sand this down, and we'll go from there. All right, well, we got 2 coats of paint on the base. We're just doing a white base and stain top with some epoxy. So just really hit that 2 coats, all the visible surfaces. So looking good. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Look at this. Damn, sweeter than a box of fresh baked Krispy Kremes. Oh, I love this color. Got the replacement bed rails all stained. Got the base painted. So we'll let this dry about a day or so. And then we got some food grade epoxy. I'm gonna try my second round of ever epoxying something, so we'll see how that goes. So stay tuned for more. All right. Probably the hardest part of this table build is going to be this epoxy. So we're downstairs in my basement because this epoxy, you need epoxy at a certain temp, the room at a certain temp, and it's got to dry at a certain temp. So what I've done, I've prepped. I've got tape underside so I can kind of come along with some epoxy, kind of pour it in these cracks, get it topped off, filled up, hardened up a little bit before I do my final layer. So oh gosh, so nervous. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it turns out. So got tarp down. Gonna let it drip over the sides, and we'll kind of go from there. So kind of take my cups and any deep spots like that, I'll try to fill with epoxy first. Get it somewhat leveled out. So like I said, fingers crossed. All right, folks. Well, we got our first epoxy coating on. Oh, man. Talk about a nerve-wracking. So we got these little bubbles here. Just going to let those pop up a little bit. Hit them with the torch. Pops those bubbles out. Yeah, they're through there, leaked through my tape backing. So I think what I'll do is just keep watching it. Get all the bubbles popped out. Let it set up real good overnight. Like I said, I got the heat cranked in the basement. Let this set up and cure, and then maybe try to put something better up against that, prevent that from leaking out. Smaller spots like this, I'm hoping that as this first coat gets in there, kind of hardens up, it'll maybe plug itself up. But I know some people say, well, if you did better joinery, and you're exactly right. If I was able to get it tighter, this really ticked me off because screws, this lumber just wouldn't, and the screws wouldn't bite and really pull it together like I liked. So, but hey, for only doing the second tabletop, I'll take it for now. So, like I said, you can kind of see how that really, the tape on the bottom, it just couldn't hold up to the weight of the epoxy. But like I said, we'll let this dry real good overnight and then do another coat, try to fill that in and go from there. So we'll see you tomorrow. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gents, here's the final product. Hopefully the customer will be here soon. Hopefully they really enjoy it. I know this was definitely a big... If anybody's ever done epoxy, you can never get it perfect. And really, I had to come back in and kind of fill in some joints. Epoxy is just a pain to work with. Just a pain. So, it's not perfect, but hopefully they'll put a runner on it, something like that. I don't know. It's not perfect. Didn't come out exactly the way I wanted, but I think overall it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? And epoxy is definitely one of those things you can't just do. I think I did an epoxy table a year ago, so I don't do it enough. I don't do enough to become proficient at it, figure out how to, but I mean it. Mirror finish, and came back and got some of the spots filled in. I guess really if you had, from what I was reading online, you'd sand it down, you'd sand everything down, and then you'd do a massive pour, just to re-pour and smooth everything. But shoot, I'd be $200 just in epoxy. That's more than I got in the whole table. So, like I said, it's not perfect, but definitely from this angle you can see how it. But like I said, they're, hopefully they'll like it. If not, we'll go from there. So, well, thanks again. If you got any helpful tips in the comments, feel free to leave them. Click, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.